Say what needs to be said. It's your host, your big dog, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Salmon. We're in the building for this Eagles marathon. Finna get this thing cracking. Give y'all a little inside story of Asante's 4-year career with the Eagles, with a blessed, successful career with the Eagles. And I'm thankful, highly thankful for those guys and Andy and Howie and Mr. Lurie and all those people that brought me down there. You know what I mean? Salute to the Eagles fan base. You know, we've created a lot of memories. What else? Y'all are very exciting. Y'all are very passionate about y'all team. Y'all taught me a lot about, different fan bases. And, I got to give a salute to y'all because y'all helped create me, what I can say, at the same time. Because if you get through y'all and be successful and y'all still love that player, man, you got to be a damn good player to deal with that Eagles fan base. So let's get into this Eagle marathon, right? So me becoming an Eagle, if y'all don't understand, me becoming an Eagle started November 25th, 2007, when I was still playing with the New England Patriots. Y'all say, why? How did he become an Eagle when he was still with the New England Patriots? Let me get into it. See, in free agency, teams usually are comfortable breaking the bank with teams that are usually, with players that are usually in their division, and they probably cause havoc in that division, playing 2 times a year. So for me, I didn't play the Eagles 2 times a year. But on November 25th, New England Patriots versus the Philadelphia Eagles was scheduled to play against each other. And A.J. Feely was at quarterback. And I think it was the first quarter or something like that, right? It was the first quarter. And Brian Westbrook, he comes out the backfield. He motions out the backfield. He passed the slot receiver, and he lines up in front of me, directly in front of me. Said, "Hut, A.J. Feely." Said, "Hut." I could still see it in my eyes. It was so slow, too, A.J. Feely back there. But he motions out, said, "Hut." Brian Westbrook does a 5-yard out, right? And the timing was so off. I mean, I broke on the ball. I was about to break on it too early. I had to catch myself from breaking on it too early and letting them see me. So, boom. Before I break, I hesitated and time it up perfect. Go get it. Interception. I booked that thing to the house. So, that was the first interception. Asante against the Eagles, making my name known. You know what I mean? Shout out to Westbrook. Ain't had nothing to do with Westbrook. Y'all don't take this stuff the wrong way. I'm just telling y'all the story, right? Then, so I ran that one to the house. Nobody could catch me. I'm feeling good, baby. I know I'm out of there. I know I'm not finna be an Eagle no more. We already got that. A Patriot anymore. We already got that worked out. So I'm enjoying myself. Then in the fourth quarter, I think we had a 4-point lead, meaning the Patriots at the time, against the Eagles, right? And they had the ball in their red zone, probably about to score, potentially about to score and go win the game. And Kevin Curtis lines up in front, right? And we had cover 3, but I played cover 3 like, man, if y'all don't understand coverage, cover 3 is 1/3 part of the field. That's why they call it cover 3. But I squeeze my receiver like number ones, like they man to man. So Kevin Curtis, he runs that slant, hit a little slant. He ain't give me no indications to jump on it. So, the quarterback ain't even pumping the ball. So I didn't really jump on it, but, I kind of kept him in my leverage. And then he went for the go, slant and go, boom. I go with the go. And I go right up under that thing. Interception, right in the end zone. Swagged out. Before I was Mr. Pick Six, I was just deuce. Interception, game-winning interception, right? Got the game-winning interception. Asante Samuel against the Eagles, New England Patriots. Now, this is probably about week 12 or something like that, week 11, when we play. Y'all go look it up. It's 2007, right? 2007, right? Then, about 3 weeks later, we playing the Steelers or the Jets. I can't remember exactly what game. Now, right after that game, my agent like to call me after every game. The agent got to keep it close. They need their money. You know what I mean? So I get that call right after the game. He said, "Guess what, Zunt?" That's what they call me, Zunt. I got a deal on the table, baby. I was like, what? Because I didn't really understand. I'm waiting for free agency to hear this type of language and stuff like that. Like, I got a deal on the table. Man, I was elated. I was shocked. I was surprised, happy, all these emotions going through me at once. And then, you know, I was like, so what you saying? What was going on? I was like, well, he say, I got the first offer. He said, the first offer, boy, it's real. It's the real deal. And I don't want to get into details and who told, who called and who contacted and things like that. But pretty much that deal was done. Right then, the first offer, they wasn't playing no games. My big payday was waiting on me, baby. Right then, right there. I'm still at the New England Patriots. And that big payday is right around the corner. I probably got about 3-4 more weeks into playoff games. But that's to let y'all understand. I was a Philadelphia Eagle already before I got there, while I was a Patriot. Everybody knew I was gone, you know what I'm saying? So now I just need to finish off the season healthy, right? And I'll be on my way to a new team with some new energy and a new culture, new foundation, right? So some of you heard some of these stories before, and just ride out with me. It's a marathon, baby. So I might have to repeat a story or two. So just ride out with me, in my Russell Wilson voice. Let's ride. Now that the season is over, season's long gone, and I'm officially a free agent. I'm out here like y'all out here trying to be a free agent in relationships. Y'all want to be single and want to have a relationship. Y'all don't know what y'all want, but I'm a free agent. It's official. I'm out here in the free agent world, but I ain't really getting no calls. There ain't too many people really contacting me. But I got a new deal on the table, and I'm ready to sign. I'm ready to join this new team. Like I said, no one else is contacting me, and well, maybe this is part of the process. So I don't really understand, right? So now, whatever day that free agent starts on, I'm in Philly the day before free agent starts. So the day before free agent starts, I'm there because they want me there. As soon as free agency hit, they want me there to sign that deal because they ain't playing no games. Like I said, the offer is the offer, and it's the biggest offer you can possibly have for cornerbacks at that time. I was the highest paid corner, right? So as I enter the facilities, they send me the limo, pick me up, wine and dine me, all that good stuff. They court you just like your relationship. You know what I mean? So they got me staying in the presidential suite, showing me, got me eating the best food and all that good stuff. Now it's time to go to the facility and sign that deal, put the ink in the paper, make it official. After they wine and dine, just like a relationship. So now I get to the facilities. And as I get to the facilities, I'm walking through, I get a call. And guess who it is? It's the New York Jets. It's my old defensive coordinator from the New England Patriots, Eric Mangini, who had just became the head coach for the New York Jets, probably like his second year. He said, Asante, me and him had talks about being rich and making it and things like that because he wasn't even the DB coach when I first got there. He was, he made it up in the ranks and now he's a head coach. We had dreams of being rich and making it successful in the NFL. So he was like, Asante, I'm here, man. I made it. I can give you whatever you want, Asante. I can give you whatever you want. And I was like, dang, I was thinking about it. Because he said he give me whatever I want. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, I know where you at. You about an hour and a half away. I send a limo over there to you to bring you right over the bridge. Take about an hour to get here. And we can make it happen, Asante. So I'm pondering, I'm thinking, this and that. I'm trying to play all these scenarios in my mind. And I'm like, so what you talking there? Like, those are numbers. It's like 36, 37 million, 38 over the first 3 years. You tell it. You tell me. And I make it happen, son. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm tempted because it's sounding great, right? I'm so tempted. I am very tempted. But then I had to think to myself, it's always the good. It's always better to go with the for sure than some more. Remember that. Always better to go with some for sure than some more. So we always use that in our mind, dating and messing with girls and stuff like that. You got your for sure, and you're gonna try to go get some more. You might lose out on your for sure. So I ain't want to lose out on my for sure. Just trying to get some more, and I didn't want to be in the same predicament I was with the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick mentee or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? So I was ready for some new football and some new ways and experiences and things like that. But I use that to my leverage as anybody would, and that's what life is about, gaining leverage. So I told Andy what the situation was, and he understand. He's a very understanding person. He's not a controversial person. He likes to get things resolved and moved on and make everybody happy. So I told Andy that the New York Jets and Eric Mangini is throwing the bag at me. They're willing to give me whatever I want. But I'm not saying you have to beat that deal. I'm just like, brush my top pockets or something, smooth my palms a little bit. Make me happy, make me feel good about turning this deal down. You know what I mean? What up, D-Pat? I see you, Shay boy. What's happening? So now, I bring it to Andy. I tell him the situation. He's not too happy because, like I said, a deal is a deal. You're a man of your word, and it was supposed to be signed, sealed, and delivered. And somehow it came up, and I was just like, man, give me $1 million more. That's it. Just give me $1 million more. I was cool with that, right? But he didn't just say yeah. Kind of just walked off to this room in like darkness and came back. It's like, all right, Asante, I got the extra $1 million for you. Are you ready to sign the deal? I was like, yeah, I signed it, right? And I had to tell Eric Mangini, of course, I'm not going to the Jets and stuff like that. But like I said, I didn't want to be under any Belichick mentees and stuff like that. So, we made it official. I am finally a freaking Philadelphia Eagle. Woo, one of the best decisions of my life. Like I say, thank you, salute to Andy Reid and Howie and everybody that made it have Mr. Lurie and things like that, right? So now it's time to give these people their money's worth. It's time to give Philadelphia Eagles Nation their money's worth. I'm about to go show them what I can do, who y'all brought to the table, who y'all brought to this team. I'm finna get it cracking, right? So big shout out to Andy and Howie, for believing in me. Really appreciate y'all. 100. So as I signed my deal, and now I'm headed, I'm officially a Philadelphia Eagle. I'm signing my deal. And now I'm hearing all of the hate from the ex-players and commentators and whoever else is starting to try to make a name for themselves in the broadcasting network. They're telling me, they're saying Asante Samuel is going to be a bust. He's a system player. That's the worst money the Eagles can possibly spend. This guy is blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. Right? So I had to shut all these people up, and nobody came back and apologized. Like I said, they was telling me I'm a system corner. I only do this on the Bill Belichick system. Made me feel like Bill Belichick had something to do with all this craziness, right? But whatever, right? Moving on. I get to Philly, right? But this is when social media first came out. Social media, it came out, but it was starting to take off. Right? And I would see the young guys around the team taking pictures, making comments, talking about Instagram, this Insta thing. That Insta thing, that's the funny name we use for it. The Insta thing, right? Talking about girls and these models and etc., right? All the young boy, right? But I was so anti-social media and media, period. I didn't really want to involve them in my life, and I didn't know better, right? Now I know better. Now it's all good. It's never too late. It's never too late. But I was still anti-social media because I don't really want to take pictures and post and all those things. But that stuff seemed so, it seemed so crazy to me. I was a little backdated. I had to catch up. But I had my financial advisor. My financial advisor, he kind of understood, and he was like, man, let me start you a Twitter. And he advised me to start a Twitter. And I said, go ahead, do it. Set me one up. And he started me a Twitter. That's when I was really introduced to social media. I didn't play with it at first, but then after like 5 months, I seen all these followers. Like, dang, all right, let me mess around with this. He was like, I told you. My first name was President DB. If y'all don't remember, back in the days, it was President DB. Then I became Mr. Pick Six, baby. Mr. Pick Six. So, like I said, after we signed, we did our press conference. I'm meeting the people. I'm getting familiar with the facilities and where to live and all those things. And it's like they're telling me, you don't really want to live in Philly. You want to live in New Jersey. That's where the people, that play professional sports and things like that, they live in New Jersey. But they say you got to cross this bridge and go over this bridge to get to New Jersey. And I'm like, why would people want to go so far and live so far? So, I think it was Market Street or something like that. I think it's like Market Street downtown. I got my first little condo. I wanted to stay close to the facilities. I don't want to have to do all that drive, right? So I get familiar and I find my spot and then boom, get all that situated. Now it's time for practice. It's time for my first practice I keep seeing New England page, as a Philadelphia Eagle. It's time for my first practice, baby. First practice. Let's get it cracking, right? So I walk into the stadium and I enter the locker room. As soon as I enter the locker room, the first thing you see, it's massive. This one player had 2 lockers. He had 2 lockers. It was the craziest thing I ever seen. He wasn't a big guy. And he had all these toys and artwork and exhibits of superheroes and things like that in his locker room and in his top of his locker. And when I say he had tons of it, I mean it had to be no exaggeration, about 300 superheroes at the top of the locker. No exaggeration. And he had 2 lockers, like I said. So 150 there, 150 there. And that's all you can see. And I walk in and I realize it's Brian Dawkins' locker. Whoa. I'm like, man, this is crazy. I haven't met him yet. So I'm like, ooh, and my locker just so happened to be right next to Brian Dawkins. You know what I mean? The big dog on the team. So that was my first introduction to Brian Dawkins, just seeing his locker. And I didn't know what to expect, but yeah, that locker is a representation of who he believes he really is. Ain't no doubt about it. He think he's one of those superheroes on that field, and that's what you gotta have. You gotta have that Brian Dawkins type of mindset going out there and playing football, because this is a crazy game. And like I said, he means and he feels like he's one of those superheroes. Shout out to big Brian Dawkins, man. Like I said, he's one of the best, man. So now I get to the locker room, we're talking and introducing everybody and all those things and good things like that. We have this situation, get to practice. But I'm gonna fast forward and I'm gonna go back. We get to practice. And like I said, Andy Reid, he's not really that controversial. He's not really a controversial guy, right? So although I'm the highest paid cornerback in the entire National Football League, there's still a little issue with Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown. Now, Lito Shepherd has been asking for more money, and he wants new money and things like that. And he thinks he deserved more money. So he had been pleading and trying to get that new contract. But you got to go produce, you know what I mean? I think his timing was off for asking for the new contract. He had done signed a long deal and got locked up in that and had some pretty good years, but it was in the beginning of the deal and so on and so forth. But, moving on. So he still has Lito Shepherd starting at cornerback along with Sheldon Brown, right? Now, I played left corner, which Lito played left corner. Oh, he was kind of bringing me in as the nickelback, meaning the third corner. And it was like, what we doing here? Really? But it was only a matter of time. They were just doing that, like you say, not to cause too much trouble. Put a little Band-Aid on the trouble as much as he possibly can. That's just Andy Reid. So, it went through those issues and eventually, boom, I got the spot, which was, supposed to happen. Then me and Sheldon, and then Lito would come off the bench and be the nickel. But, Lito, it didn't really accept it that well. He felt that was, his deal and things like that, and rightfully so. And there's no shots to Lito and all that thing. That's my dog, Lito. Shout out to Lito, shout out to Sheldon Brown. But it didn't really work out, so it was time to move on. It's time to move on, right? And then we get to the draft, right? And you draft in your first draft. And then this is when I meet DeSean Jackson. Now, DeSean Jackson, before they have all these fast players, that DeSean Jackson was at the time the most athletic, skilled guy I had met at the time, because they didn't have fast, speedy guys that could run and stop and drop on the dime like D-Jack. You know what I mean? They got a bunch of them now, but D-Jack was getting it cracking. You know what I mean? Fast. He had the agility. He could stop on a dime. He had the stop and go. He had everything. He had hands like crazy hands. Just the only thing he lacked was the size. Heart of a lion. All those great things, right? So, me and D-Jack, we instantly connected, and, we started kicking it and getting familiar with Philly together. That was my role, dog. I don't know why, me as a defensive player, I always seem to connect with offensive players. Me and Easy Cheese, which was Rashay Cardwell back at New England Patriots, and now it's DeSean Jackson, and then after DeSean Jackson, it'd be another one, but it'd be a part of the story. I'm gonna keep it going. So me and D-Jack, man, we would do our thing, and one of the funny stories is we had a routine, and our routine before the game. The night before the game, we got to connect. We got to go find us a spot. We got to go get our mind right. You know what I mean? So that was our routine. All the coaches, everybody see us walking out, because we didn't really have too many meetings like everybody else, because we was the skilled players. So we was, be walking right past everybody, heading right out the hotel to go find us a location. And everybody and Andy Reid to be messing with us, because he know where we're going. He's been around. You know what I mean? So, and that was me and D-Jack thing. Now we get to our first team defensive meet, right? RIP to the late, great Jim Johnson, man. One of the legendary defensive coordinators in Philadelphia history. He laid that foundation down, that defense. I mean, they still running his defense to this day. You know what I mean? So, but when I got there in that team defense, I had expressed what I learned about the Eagles defense and what Bill Belichick had said and told us about them, because, we played him, like I said, and he had, a lot of things to say. So I said right off the rip, I was like, when he was going over the plays in defensive install, right? And that's what it's called, defensive install. I'm like, man, Belichick says a lot of holes in y'all defense. This is before I really understood, the concepts of defense and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, I said it, and everybody was kind of shocked. I was like, this defense needs to tighten up. It's a lot of patches and holes that probably we can fix moving forward, so we don't have these problems that I've seen when I was with the Patriots. Not really understanding the concept, right? The concept for Jim Jones' defense is to attack. His defense is to attack, which means a lot of blitzing. So if you don't understand what blitzing means we're going to send as many guys as we need at you and your offense, and we want to end up with one more than you have to block. And that's going to cause the offense to mess up, to cause a turnover, so on and so forth, right? They better get the ball out quick. That's all I know. You messing with Jim Johnson and his defense, you better get the ball out quick. It might be a few holes in there, which I was saying, but I didn't understand the full concept. But you better get the ball out quick, right? Now, that was my first issue, and I had to overcome that with the Eagles, right? Now, being able to play my style and my scheme for DBs was the second issue. Because, like I said, that concept is, very, they blitz a lot. So the concept is 2-to-1 read, right? So if you're at cornerback, think of it like this. You're at cornerback, you guarding the receiver that's farthest to the field. but then you have a receiver that's inside of you also, right? So when the quarterback says hut, both of those receivers coming at you. They're coming at you. They're coming at you. If you have one outside and one inside, the one inside goes out, you must drop your receiver and go get that receiver. You understand that? What I'm saying? Now, if both of them continues to go vertical, then you stay with number one. Now, if they go vertical and two disappears, then you stay with number one. Right? So you got to make all those reads in that defense. That's pretty much how 2-to-1 read goes. But the problem was these guys was doing this and he expected them to do this at a high level playing press coverage. So you have to be able to make these reads in press coverage. And I'm like, how am I going to cover number one going on a go route, but you want me to read number two and trail number one? It was just a bunch of confusion. You know what I mean? And I've seen the inconsistency in the DB play. So I was like, I'm not going to play up. When you call man-to-man, I'll play press, so, when I think it's necessary. But other than that, I have to play my style and play to my strength and give y'all what y'all paid for. So, I had to get over that loop and they let me play how I needed to play. So we got over that, right? Now, we're in practice and I'm seeing the style of practice and things like that. And it's not really what I'm used to or what I think I need to be prepared to be prepared to go out there and play against these very skillful opponents. And in practice, it was more of a confidence thing. Make the defense feel confident, throw the ball at them, and not because they made a great play or they read the plays and things like that. Just throw it out there, let them make the plays. So I was like, no, man. I need to be challenged. We as a defense has to be challenged. Everything I'm communicating with my DBs and things like that, we need to make sure it's working properly. So don't come out here giving us nothing. I go to the scout team, offense, the quarterback, the receivers, the offensive coordinator. I make them understand you come at me and try to win. And the Reed understand that this has to change. So that's when that concept changed. I made it a more competitive environment. That's just the truth. I'm not trying to brag and things like that. So I made it a more competitive environment. I made it a challenging practice because that's what we needed, right? Now, Brian Westbrook, let me tell you about Brian Westbrook. Brian Westbrook, when I got there, it's like this guy was banged up every day. He didn't practice and go out there and kill it. Go out there and ball. Like Brian Westbrook has to be the toughest running back football player to ever play the game. As much as I seen him banged up, tape, ice, Band-Aids, and he didn't barely practice, and go out there and shine, boy. He gonna go out there and get boogie and get busy with it, boy. He get loose out there, man. So shout out to Brian Westbrook, man. Like I said, he was very tough, very dependable, despite all the bumps and bruises he went through, man. He's gonna be at that game. You could depend on Brian Westbrook. So I want to give him a shout out, man, because that was crazy. If y'all can see him showing up at practice, trying to do whatever he can to be prepared with tape and ice everywhere, man. So, but so, that first year we made it to the playoffs. All my years, probably about 2, I didn't make it to the playoffs. That's what happens when you bring pick 6 on the team. You make it to the playoffs. Because guess what? In the playoffs, Mr. Pick 6 turns up. So my first playoff game with the Eagles against the Minnesota Vikings, baby. Minnesota Vikings. R.I.P. to Tavares Jackson. I think he was at the quarterback. Minnesota was feeling good about themselves. They knew they was going to win. They thought they was going to win. But they threw one at Mr. Pick 6. It was quick out route. Boom. Like I said, you got to have that 2-to-1 read. So I was off and I read that thing. Bam. Booked it to the house. That was my record-breaking interception for touchdowns in the playoffs against the Minnesota Vikings, baby. I had the ball out the way I celebrate. I had the ball out in front of me, and then I held it up. But when I held it up in front of me, it looked like I held it down. And then my brother was on the Minnesota Vikings team. He was like, bro, he acted like he pissing on us. That he pissed on the ball. Like, bro, is that what y'all was thinking over there? Y'all is crazy, bro. That's my normal celebration. Y'all is beside y'allself, man. Y'all is tripping, man. You know what I mean? What's up, y'all, in the comments? You know what I mean? Keep it coming. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe. Make sure y'all like and send this thing in the algorithm. Let them know the Eagles marathon. Asante Samuel going in, baby. So that was the first playoff game. Now the second playoff game, we got the New York Giants, Eli Manning. And they were, that was the thing they was talking about, Plaxico Burress and all that stuff. He was the Eagles killer and things like that. Man, Plaxico, man, I've been locking Plaxico down. That ain't going to be nothing, coach. That ain't going to be not a problem. Whatever he did to y'all in the past, that ain't going to happen no more. So now we got the Giants, and we're away. We got to play them in Meadowlands in New York, right? But here's the issue. Mr. Asante, Mr. Pick Six, I'm not going to say I was the best. I don't follow the rules all the way sometimes. I have my ways and things like that. So I invited people to my room. Let's just say that, when you're not supposed to. So before the Giants game, I do like I had my routine. I bring my girlfriend at the time to the room, and it's past curfew. But the problem is, I had to argue with the damn security on the floor. He trying to be damn superhero, talking about he finna call the people, this and that. Man, call him. Goddamn, I'm going to my room, bro. And if you call him, we're gonna have issues. That's what I told him, right? So I'm in the room, and every night wherever we at, she come to the room and we order our dinner. So we eating dinner. Got my juicy burger, got my pickle on the side, got a little tomato in there. Squeeze the mayonnaise, mix the ketchup on there, and get me a burger. Now, this after me and D Jack went out and did our thing. If y'all don't remember, me and D Jack before the games, we got to hit it, you know what I mean? So I'm eating, I got my lemonade, I got my ice in the water. You wash the lemonade down with the water, stay hydrated, got to stay hydrated for the game. So I'm chilling. And now, mind you, my mom's at the game too, but we got two rooms kind of next to each other. Or actually, I had to sneak past the security guard. I didn't sneak in my room. I went to her room. So that was the problem. Me and the security guard going at it, because I'm leaving out of my room to go upstairs. So after we go upstairs to get my dinner, do all our thing, do our thing, it's about 11 o'clock at night. I hear a knock, but it's not directly at my door or my girlfriend's door, whoever door y'all want to call it. But I bought the door, the room, and she's in there. But I hear a knock. And I get up, we can hear her. But it's next door, it's at my mom's room. And they're like, Asante's in there? And she like, no, he's next door. And I'm like, oh, jump. So they immediately knock on the door. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh, man. I just tell her to open it. They're like, Asante, we know you're in there. Was the security guard I think his name was Larry, man. Shout out to Larry. I hope I'm saying it right or remembering it correctly. It's like, we know you're in there. Him and Big Dom showed up. So I walked out with the sad puppy face. And as soon as we walked past that security guard, boy, I'm gonna mess you up, boy. I had told him I'm gonna beat him up, boy. I'm super hot, but I'm super mad, right? So, security team, they let me back. They took me back to my room, gave me a little pat on the wrist. Of course, they told Andy, of course he knew about it. At the time, I didn't think. But here's the part about that. Because you can make everything go away. It just depends on what you do after that. When you do something wrong, how do you handle it after that? And this is how I handle it. Because if I go out there and stink up in that game, they're going to blame everything on me and me missing curfew and just being a rebel. But, boy, me and Eli, y'all know I'm his favorite receiver. In that playoff game, 2008 season, I just broke that record against Tavares Jackson and the Minnesota Vikings. I came off my receiver. He ran deep. It was snowy and windy, so I knew Eli wasn't going to be able to get the ball out there. And I kind of set off my receiver, and it was a man coming across, and he threw it over his head. Interception. Asante Samuel. I tried made a few people miss right there at the goal line. Boom. I almost made it in, man. Eli tackled me. But guess what? I gave that ball to the security team, and everybody's happy, baby. We have no issues. Nobody's going to be upset. Nobody's going to get reprimanded in trouble, and life goes on. So how do you handle it? Got to show up and show out. When your name is on the line and your reputation for doing crazy things, you better show out because they're going to use that against you. So, hey, Lord was with me on that day, baby. You know what I mean? So shout out to, like I said, Dom and Larry and the security team, you know what I mean, holding me down. Then we go 2009. So the following season, baby, 2009. And 2009, in the second round, with the 53rd pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select. Let me see if y'all can guess. Y'all got 5 seconds. 1, better type it in quick. If other than that, you're trying to Google it. With the 53rd pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select LeSean Shady McCoy. And let me tell you, with that draft pick right there, that's nothing but entertainment. That's all you need for your team to boost your team. The morale, the entertainment part on the field, off the field. I mean, the guy's just a walking entertainment as well as a hell of a player, right? But what was so interesting about Sean Shady, you know, most athletes, they're superstars their whole life, right? They're not used to really dealing with life because life kind of is catered to them in so many words. You know what I mean? So what the funny thing was for Shady and what made him so entertaining off the field is he was trying to figure out life and understand life and football, but he would bring it to the training room with us. And that was my hangout spot. Every day, everybody in meeting, get ready to go out to the field and practice and special teams. I didn't have to do all that stuff. So I'm waiting for my time. So I'm in the training room. And every day, right after lunch, in the training room, here comes LeSean McCoy. LeSean Shady McCoy. And ain't no telling what he might come bring to the conversation that day. It might be talking about, how do you keep a girl? These girls keep tricking on me. What do y'all stay at around here? The rent is too high. How do you get your cars from X to Z? Man, he come with the most broadest, craziest situations every other day. Be like, man, y'all know I ran out of gas the other day. Did y'all know it was a gas station on such and such? Man, the man ran down and got the gas for me and came back. And that's how I was almost late to the bus. Ain't no telling what type of story. That wasn't his story, but he have a story every day. I don't know. He keep it going. So shout out to Shady McCoy, man. One of the best to do it, right? Now, also we acquired Michael Vick that year. That moment right there, acquiring Michael Vick, man, that was just so inspiring for the coach, and everyone wanted to see Michael Vick do good and be successful. And he did that. He did that. You know, he needed a couple opportunities here and there for some things to happen. But that was that year, man, that it was like that brotherly love feeling. It was really there, right? But let me tell y'all a funny moment. A funny moment that 2009 season, right? And it was against the Denver Broncos. And let me tell you, Andy Reid, he decided during the game he wanted to bench me, right? And it was just him, I guess because my mouth get me in trouble. And I think it was because I missed the tackle. It was something really petty. And in comes my boy, Jose Leo Hansen. He brought him in the game to replace me. He's the nickelback on the team. But as soon as Jose Leo came in the game, he gave up a big play. And Andy Reid comes looking for me. He calls for me to come back to the game. Asante, get back in the game. or he tells Brett Veach, the GM, he was assistant then, but the GM now at the Kansas City Chiefs. He tells Brett Veach to come tell me to get back in the game. And what y'all think happened when he asked me to come get back in the game? Huh? What y'all think? No way, man. I ain't going back in the game. You got to come apologize to me or something, because I don't know why you thought it was necessary to bench me or whatever your issues was. We playing the game, I missed a tackle. I done got 9 picks on the season. You think you trying to bench me because somebody finna go out there and go get you 10 picks? Well, what is the point of this? Come apologize. You come walking over there. Asante, come on, get back in. Nope. Took off my gloves, everything. Nope. All right, Asante, what? All right, sorry, get back in the game. Like I say, he don't like to argue, man. He not controversial and stuff. So I got back in the game. Guess what happened? Y'all know what happened. Mr. Pixie's gonna show up every time. Get back in the game. This when Josh McDaniels just was left the Patriots and he was the head coach for Denver. They bring a tight end out there and try to hit me on the deep ball. Interception. You know, slide right, slide left. You know what I mean? But let me tell y'all a funny thing about interceptions with me and Andy Reid. It's like Andy Reid, he used to threaten me. After my second season with the Philadelphia Eagles, Andy Reid would come up to me and say, Asante, I need an interception. You better get me an interception. And it was like, if I didn't get an interception, I was going to be reprimanded or something. Like, he may cut me. He may bench me or something. He thought that I can just appear with interceptions whenever the game needed an interception. He would come up to me with the most craziest, threatening looks like, Asante, you better get me an interception or else. And it was like, wow. It felt like that was the feeling. But at the same time, like, let me tell y'all what's so funny about interceptions. You know what I go through with interceptions and people in general? First of all, me, right? When I enter the stadium or a team and into the facilities, everyone comes up to me and predicts how many interceptions I'm going to get. I mean, everyone has to come to me. Y'all don't understand. I mean, from the trainers to the GM, to the owner, to the coaches, to every player, to the staff members, to the doctors. You're gonna get 2 today, Asante. I feel you're gonna get 2 today. So, I only feel 1. Asante, you're gonna break the record today. And then guess what? After the game, the ones that predicted right, I told you it's gonna get 2 today. But it's like, I get so many interceptions. Of course you're gonna guess right. Like, everybody thought they could predict how many interceptions I was getting. But I'm getting so many interceptions. So what is y'all talking about? Like, so that was a fun thing. But I don't think y'all understood. I don't think no player ever really had to deal with that. I mean, this is not no exaggeration. I'm not bragging or nothing. When we report to the facilities, getting off that bus, every player, every person that is in that stadium, a part of our team, is going to come up to me and predict how many interceptions I'm going to get that game. Because everybody, I guess everybody feel like Asante is going to get interceptions. When that ball is in the air and it goes to my side, everybody feeling like, pick. He about to get it. And, you know, so that was some fun times. But Andy Reid, let me tell you, that was a different type of pressure Andy Reid put on me, boy. I'm telling you, he meant it. And I guess that's what he said he signed me up for. He signed me up to come here and make interceptions for this team, because that was the message he said for this team when he signed me. He said, well, maybe we can learn something from him. You need to bring all these interceptions to our team. And that's what I did, Coach Reid. Thank y'all, man. Thank you. But 2010, if y'all don't remember, man, 2010 was all about Michael Vick, boy. When he got his opportunity, I think when Kevin Cobb got hurt, man, he seized the moment, boy. He took full advantage of that opportunity, right? That's when he took, if y'all don't realize, I don't think y'all understand. That's when the Eagles' rushing attack went from to out of there. Went from a little average right there, just threading the line, to zoom out of there. That boy had that rushing attack going, boy. And no, it wasn't just, the running backs. It was that Mike Vick present. So I can say, man, Mike Vick, man, he took real good advantage of that. Yeah, I see y'all in the comments. Keep it going, baby. Yeah, it was shady. Y'all was a little late, but y'all got it right. It was shady. It was shady. It was shady. Yeah. But now 2010, somehow, I don't know exactly when, but that's when I heard, they might have let me know that, we almost traded you for a second round pick. I'm like, bro, I'm all pro. Like, what did y'all do? That's the monopoly stuff started, but I ain't getting that. Like, y'all put me on the trading blocks. Like, what are y'all gonna get better than me? Y'all thinking something out there better than me? And they was a second round pick to the Detroit Lions. And thank the Lord, they did not accept that second round pick, and y'all didn't send me to Detroit. Boy, because I don't know if me and that atmosphere would have worked out, man. That would have really been demoting for me. So not nothing bad about Detroit. I've been there and things like that, but man, that would have been a tough one. But thank y'all. Thank you, Howard, for not making that happen. Not making that happen. Now, 2011. This is when all the drama starts. All good things must come to an end, right? But don't really necessarily have to, but that's the word it said. But 2011, first I found out my mom is sick, right? So I'm trying to understand what's going on with her and how can I get her the best help she needs or find out the best thing possible that can help her get better, right? So I'm dealing with that as a young man, and I don't really have anybody to really help me and figure this out. It's just me, got to figure it out. Then after that, then they start to assemble what Vince Young would say. He started this whole thing. Shout out to Vince Young. His dream team. This dream team, they signed Vince Young, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and my boy Numby. But DRC, let me tell you, DRC, man, that was another guy. Before they start signing all these 6'3" fast corners, let me say, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie was the most athletic, talented cornerback I ever seen. I mean, he could run like a cheetah, boy. Man, this dude had speed for days. And to my athlete, only thing he needed a little sharpen up on his technique. I wish I could have got to him a little early and stuff like that, but learning his leverage and things like that. But man, when I say, man, has to be one of the most talented, gifted cornerbacks to ever play the game, man, it's DRC, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, man. Y'all look it up. I don't remember anything like that. Y'all see some greatness out there. He made some great plays. So shout out to DRC, right? But let me tell you, it all started going bad, right? Like I said, my mom was sick. So I didn't report to camp. Now, some people may say they had a right to be upset. Some people may say, yeah, son, you need to just stay and figure out things with your family. You got a job and you got family, right? But I'm still young and things like that. So I'm trying to figure out this whole situation with my mom, and camp is here and they want me to be here for training camp. So I'm like, bro, y'all asking me to be training camp? Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? My mom is sick. She got one of the craziest, worst diseases you could ever possibly have. And at the time, it's a business. Life goes on. Got to keep moving forward. But I wasn't trying to hear that. So camp came and I didn't come. And I think that rubbed them the wrong way. Just think about it. Me trying to strong arm this big organization, these billionaires, feeling like, who am I? But I was asking for help and things like that, but nothing would budge, right? So, they pleading and they gave me these ultimatums and all these things, and my mom was telling me to go, but I still wasn't comfortable going. So now I eventually went. So I eventually get there. And what did we have? We have a dream team mess, man. It's just a bunch of names. You know how people think just because your name is still big that I guess the player still fits the name. No, man, these players get older, and the older you get, the worse they get. Only a few get older and remain good or get better. And that was the situation. It was a bunch of big names that was getting older. And that was the situation. But now you got DRC, you got Nambi, and things. So I come to the team, and it was like, Nambi's a good dude, but it was just the way of life, I guess, he used to live in and how he operates in his character and things like that. It was just a little different from what people was used to when it comes to me, I guess, and other people and things like that. He was a little disconnect. So the atmosphere and the culture was not as tight and good as it should be, right? So, that was one part of it. And then, this didn't help anybody out. I don't know what Andy Reid was going through, but he decided to hire Juan Castillo, the offensive line coach, to come be a first-year defensive coordinator on this team. Now, for me, I don't make any excuses. Whoever you hire, whatever defense they call, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna perform because I got skills and whatever the coverage is, don't matter to me. Just help me with the pressure and not letting the quarterback have the ball so long. And it didn't really help anybody. But if it hurts you, that's on you. You got to be able to play. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I feel. So that kind of drained everybody, and it was a bunch of distractions, and it was just too much. It wasn't enough role players. The superstardism was going to people's minds and thinking, this team is just supposed to be this great, and boom. So that season was crazy. DBs was awful, and we couldn't get nothing done, right? We didn't make the playoffs, and now they was making a mockery of the dream team. Now we're in the offseason. This is the one problem and the biggest issue that I had with Andy Reid and Howie and them. In 2011, my last season there, everybody understood. I understood that they didn't want me no more. I made comments. If they don't want my playmaking ability around anymore, then let me go. And, they made it loud and clear that, I was on the trade blocks. But they didn't put it out there or represent that I'm a trade candidate until later on after free agency. Now, I don't know if this was a get back at me or what, but to let y'all understand how it go. As soon as the season's over, if you let me go right then before free agency, now I have a chance to get the best deal possible because all the money's not taken up from the other free agents going out there and getting their deals. So I wasn't able to enter the free agency right then. So I'm watching everybody sign their deals and get paid and things like that. They didn't cut me or anything. They know that I'm not going to be on the team. Now, this is the little trick that teams do to players and mess them up so y'all can understand. So they held the rights to me through free agency, through the height of free agency. The first couple weeks is when the big deals roll out. People give out the money and reserve that to the cap. So now that that's gone, first through 3 weeks, still no movement with me. They still trying to do a trade. Nobody really want to give up a pick. I'm 30 years old, whatever it is. But they still holding me. I'm like, I'm talking to Andy, just cut me, man. Release me, do anything. And he refused. And then he makes a deal. Because he tells me, I expressed to him. Now, if y'all don't understand, like I said, there's a lot of politics in that game. So when we played the Atlanta Falcons, Thomas Dimitrov ended up being the GM, he was a mentee at the New England Patriots. I think he had rose up and been a GM or something over there at New England Patriots. But now he's the GM at the Atlanta Falcons. So during the games when we would play them, the Philadelphia Eagles play the Falcons, I would talk to Thomas Dimitroff, and everybody would always ask me, man, we got to get these interceptions, things like that, so on and so forth. So now I'm telling Andy, send me to Atlanta. It's close to home. My mom's sick. That's the best fit for me. I'm expressing that. I'm telling them, I want to go to Atlanta. And then he's like, all right. He's like, nope. He's like, no, I'm not sending you to the NFC. That's how I go. So you understand. NFC is the same conference. Might end up playing each other. We might do something. I might end up making a play to stop your team from going forward and moving forward. Right? So he didn't want to agree to trade me to an NFC team, which was the Atlanta Falcons. So he had a deal on the table for the Denver Broncos. And at the time, they had their cornerbacks, and they was talking about bringing me in to play nickel and things like that, right? So I had agreed. I can't lie. I agreed. It's like, all right, I'm going to the West Coast. I'm finna be a Denver Bronco. And then something just wasn't sitting right with me. So, I mean, at the last minute, I said, nah, man, I ain't going to the West Coast. You got to figure out something else. I'm not going to Denver. I'm not making it happen. I'm already thinking I'm in the latter years of my career and things like that. Why would I want to go way to the West Coast and go out there to deal with who knows what, right? So he was upset, and he went back to the table. And boom, Atlanta Falcons, Thomas Dimitroff, we're going to make this deal happen. But of course, everybody, when they bring Asante in, I don't know what it is. Maybe it was the comments I made about Howie and Coach Reed when I was upset and they were signing all these players, Numby and Vince Young, and I said they was playing monopoly money with the owner's money, just doing whatever, So, maybe that was loud and clear and everybody understands Asante gonna say something. So when Thomas Dimitroff was making that trade and things like that, it was he just wanted to make it sure and understand, hey, man, whatever, we're going to keep it professional. Don't take no shots at me, man. If anything, just let me know. I can let you go. We can handle it however you want to. But, just be respectful and blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes, that stuff get to people. I guess we all have emotions, man. We all have emotions. Only one does Belichick. Belichick is the only one don't have emotions. Even on the dang dynasty things. It's like, bro, talk. Tell us something. We want to hear. We want to hear you talk. Tell about the situation. Tell about your experiences with Aaron Hernandez. Tell about the experiences, the in and outs from with Gronkowski, Rob Gronkowski. Tell us some stories. It's like, bro, who wants to live around that energy? Who wants to be around that energy? That's terrible energy that Bill Belichick provided. I don't know how I got this, but how did he become such a miserable guy? And it seems like the more greed, the more power people get, that's who they grow into. Please don't, y'all ever see me up here talking to y'all and y'all see me grow into this old miserable guy, please stop me. Talk to me, attack me so I can change. Because that is not the way to be. And yeah, man, so that's how, man, the Eagles marathon went. The Philadelphia Eagles marathon, Asante Samuel, and a 4-year career as an Eagle. And how it started. That's what's so significant about this story, too. It's like how these things transpire that you never know. And you never understand, because I didn't know. And I had a deal on the table, ready to be signed, sealed, and delivered. 5 weeks left into the previous season. So, I mean, you gotta go out there and you gotta make things happen. That's what Howie, that's what Andy Reid, that's what the Philadelphia Eagles did. And they landed their guy who was on their board. So, you know what I mean? Yes, that's 100K, baby. 100K good, D-Pat. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. We're gonna see y'all next time. We're gonna talk about the combine. They should be finishing up that combine. Them boys blazing. I mean, one thing we're gonna talk about that combine. Talk about, man, how everything is getting fast and faster, boy. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, we got you, man. We figure out how to get some content, some jerseys. Sorry, not no content, some jerseys, some gloves, some gear. And start getting a little, you know, a little more engaged with y'all, you know, especially my day ones. So we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna get some links up there and things like that, and we're gonna share with y'all. We're gonna keep this thing going. So till next time, in between time, I'm gonna see y'all next time. Salute. Say what needs to be said. I'm out.